Hello, my name is Savansh and I'm a second year architecture student. In this video, I will briefly explain the journey of my studio. So the studio begins with a visit to Mangaldasni Haveli, where I studied and understand how the courtyard act as the soul of the house. It became evident how light, ventilation, movement, and everyday life revolve around the courtyard, creating both spatial and visual connectivity. The carved wooden elements add depth and transform the courtyard into a pause point that holds the memory together and daily life interactions. Then the studio moved towards understanding Fatehpur Sikri through its geometric plans, sections, its history, culture, and much more. Our primary case study was Anup Talao complex, whose architecture language was decoded through different attitudes such as physical, ephemeral, and organizational substances. Based on these attitudes, installation of cube and maze were developed to translate the spatial idea into form. In the cube exercise, I have studied Turkish Sultanate house, where stone is articulated almost like a wooden through intricate carvings. The chamferites and the circular columns blurs the corners, allowing the eye to move smoothly through the space. In the maze exercise, the Anup Talao act as a strong datum that organize movement and its surrounding structure. After decoding Fatehpur Sikri, our site was introduced. So our site was at the foothills of the ridge. The site is surrounded by monuments such as Hiran Minar, Caravanserai, Stepwell, ruins, Hammam. It is located near the village. The site creates an opportunity to serve both a local community. A ramp on the side is also located, which is directly leading towards Fatehpur Sikri Royal Complex. The concept development then began by building a narrative from this exploration, spatial observation, and the essence of Fatehpur Sikri. While thinking about designing a visitor center at Fatehpur Sikri, I reflected on my own experience of that place. One of the strong observations was how the perception of a building constantly shifts. What appears from the outside often feels completely different once entered. The contrast between the interior and exterior creates a unique spatial experience. And I wanted my project to evoke a similar sense of surprise and discovery for visitors. During model making, I continuously refer back to Fatehpur Sikri to understand the relationship between the court and the building. In some cases, the movement begins through a building before opening into courtyard, while in the others, the courtyard is experienced first before enter the built form. Through several iterations, I explored the different relationship between the courts and the building by changing its courtyard size, orientation, and the placement to study how spatial experience are formed. I also try to imagine the perspective of Emperor Akbar, thinking about how he might have experienced Fatehpur Sikri and how architecture could create a sense of arrival. In the final iteration of the building, where aligned along the north-south axis, responding to the natural ridge, allowing some space to emerge two junctions. The project act almost like a teaser to Fatehpur Sikri, where the plans reflect the spatial quality of monuments such as Panch Mahal, Salim Chisti Tomb, Jodhabai's Palace, Turkish Sultanate House, and Diwan. Material become another important question in the project. Using solid red sandstone would make the project feel like a miniature replica of Fatehpur Sikri, which I want to avoid. Instead, I used stone through gabion walls filled with red sandstone, expressing the texture and the porosity. And steel columns were introduced to create a sense of lightness against the contrast of heaviness of a stone. As a visitor moves through the receptionist exhibition and cafe, there are constant framed by views towards the Hathipol, Hiran Minar, Caravanserai, strengthening the dialogue between the projects and its surroundings. This is the final model in which I have used acrylic as gabion wall to show the porosity of the material. And these are the of render AI views of my place, such as interior view of Salim Chisti tomb, how shadows will react to the jalis, the cafe which act as a Panch Mahal, the interior view of exhibition space, the shop which act as Turkish sultanates which has nishish to place item in them, the receptionist where we can enter from Akbar's perspective, washrooms has ceiling just like hammams,